Today we're going to be talking about the different ways that we have to be mindful and not be disrespecting ourselves. I think that sometimes, we tend to focus on the external things that we're doing for ourselves and the money that we're spending on ourselves and, the things that we are putting on and, the ways that we are accomplished in society, blah, 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 all that good stuff, all that job title, all that money, yada, yada, yada. So I think that we put so much of a focus on that it starts to actually have it starts to become misaligned because that's not truly how we feel about ourselves inside. And so we need to look at the inside so that we can heal and stop hurting ourselves and disrespecting ourselves and others on the outside. Okay, so anyways, I got cut off. My name is Megan. I'm your favorite spiritual life and business coach, and I'm here to bring you tips on how you can accomplish more by doing less. Please share this video if you think it would be helpful for someone else, because I plan on pouring into you, and I would want you to pour into someone else. Yes, God. So a lot of times what winds up happening because we have this inner conflict is we are feeling anxious, we're feeling overwhelmed, we're feeling insecure, we are comparing, and we can even get depressed or stuck because all of these external markers that we have that are supposed to be, I love you. One of my besties, twins, is on this live. But we start to, sorry, I just lost my train of thought right there. Bob, I was telling you to share the video. Anyways, so there's some ways that we can start to really look at how we can change what we're doing. So number one, first and foremost, because I know that everyone likes to, feel accomplished, be accomplished, do things, get things done, have goals. We need to, I think, in order to manage our inner feeling about ourselves, is to be realistic, be more realistic with our goals. Okay, I think that it's very easy for us to create this grandiose picture, and that's wonderful to have that overall vision for ourselves. But I think what happens, and what I noticed happen with myself, is that I would create these really, really big plans for myself, and then I would say, okay, I got to do all these things right now. And then when I didn't do those things, I was now feeling disappointed in myself. Has anyone ever had that happen to you? Where you set a goal for yourself, even a short-term goal, and you say, okay, I'm going to do these things, but you're not being realistic about your lifestyle, giving yourself grace, being kind to yourself, respecting yourself, right? Honoring yourself, loving yourself, saying, you know what, this is not reasonable right now. If I was giving someone grace, if I was God giving grace, what would I say? I would say, okay, so what is that most impactful thing? And just focus on that instead of trying to stack up all these things. And I got to do this on this time at this day. And I got to go over here and do this and that. And then always trying to go and do versus just being. Okay? So be kind to yourself. Yes, it's okay to have goals. Yes, it's okay to, want to accomplish things and try and want to get things done. But it's important to be mindful of setting yourself up for success. All right. A lot of times I think we set ourselves up for failure by creating unrealistic goals. Okay. Because then we get overwhelmed and we create this framework of disappointment. Okay, so be okay with starting small. Be okay with looking at just the one small thing that you can do. And I can promise you that 8 times out of 10, that one small thing that you can do consistently is going to be the one big thing that impacts and allows God to do the heavy lifting. Okay? So yes, God, we need to build our confidence by being reasonable with ourselves and giving ourselves smaller, easier markers. Okay. Because then what happens is we do the little thing that we've set for ourselves, and then we feel good. We're like, oh, you know what? I did that. I said I was going to do it and I did it. And that gives us a sense of confidence and accomplishment. Okay. Number 2 tip. Accept other people for who they are and don't try to change them. Okay. This one is a doozy. This one is a real doozy because it's difficult, right? Especially in close, intimate relationships, whether they still be here happening or whether they be in the past or whether it doesn't matter. Okay. At the end of the day, we have to understand that the biggest and best impact that we can have on any other human being to influence and persuade and convince them to do the right thing, the only way that we can truly do that is by doing it ourselves. Like, newsflash, okay? That's huge. Talking, debating, arguing, teasing, demeaning, all of these other ways of trying to get someone else to do what you want them to do are pointless. And they actually create more of that person doing those things. Yes, God. Okay? Because you can't make the strongest power that you have is your biofield, is your aura. Okay? Everything that's going on inside of your little pretty heart when you lay down at bed at night, that's what's in your biofield. Okay? So you can tell the world what you want. The ego can tell the world what it wants. But the bottom line is that you have to accept people and stop getting disappointed by other people because you already know how they are. So stop the nonsense. Okay? If a person is normally selfish, they're going to remain selfish regardless of what situation they're in. Okay. If they don't have integrity in one thing, they're not going to have integrity in another thing. Okay. If how a person does anything is how they do everything. Okay. So it's important to understand that and not be judgmental or critical, but observe and be mindful of the fact that this is the character that I'm dealing with. Okay. And not to say that people can't change, but the bottom line is people don't change overnight. It's a drastic change of a compound effect of, again, those small, little, manageable, reasonable goals that people set for themselves. Okay? I hope this is making sense. Yes, God. All right. Number 3, better communication. Okay. It's really tempting to go into defensive, offensive mode with people, especially when there's a confrontation or there's friction or something happens or there's a miscommunication, there's a misunderstanding. Basically, what we thought was supposed to happen didn't happen that way. What we thought we desired to happen a certain way didn't happen that way. Okay. So what happens is what's important to remember is that healthy communication centers around accountability and resolution. Okay? Again, taking that focus from the external and bringing it internal. Stop focusing on the facade of the outside and look at the root and the cause of all. Okay? And so that means that we have to start looking at, if I'm even having this conversation, that means that I did something to contribute to this dynamic. So knowing that and being a spiritually mature and emotionally intelligent, okay, loving, compassionate, godly individual, that means that I am going to be able to take the vantage point of everything, including myself. And I'm going to be able to take accountability for myself. And I'm going to be able to not just take accountability, but then also be focused on the resolution versus being focused on blame. Okay, trying to find whose fault it was. That's ego crap. All right? That's ego crap. Yes, we need our ego. Yes, we impact through our ego. Yes, we express God even through our ego. But it being on all the time and not being heart-centered, not coming from the place that creates the biofield or the aura that attracts and repels. Okay? Because everybody will talk about the law of manifestation, but there's also a law of pushing away. There's also a law of repelling. Okay? And so we have to be mindful of the fact that we are always creating. That's what all this boils down to. Okay? I'm going to move on to the next one. Yes, God. This is a huge one right here. Okay? And this is one that kind of really relates also to accepting people and setting realistic goals. Okay, the fourth thing that we can do to stop disrespecting ourselves and other people is keeping your word. Stop lying. Okay, we lie a lot and we don't think we do, but we lie a lot. Okay, and I'm going to show you the ways that we lie a lot that we probably don't even realize that we lie. Okay, again, how you do anything is how you do everything. All right, if you commit to things but you don't follow through, okay, if you make plans with people, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and then you kind of just like fall off. If you're like constantly late all the time, all right, if you have a tendency to cancel things at the last minute, all right, that is disrespectful. I hope that you understand how that's disrespectful. You're disrespecting someone else's time and you're disrespecting someone else's energy. Okay. And the thing is, it's okay to cancel, it's okay for things to change, but the next part is communication. Okay. Life happens. Of course, we know that, this is this and, something happened over here. Trust me, I'm a mother of 5. I know all about life happening. Okay. But what shouldn't happen is not communicating what's happening if it's going to impact another person. Okay. And having the mindfulness to be aware of how what's going on with me impacts other people. Okay. When I'm in a bad mood, it impacts other people. Let me be mindful of myself. When something happens to me, my children are right here. How am I going to process this? Okay. The thing is about remaining at peace regardless of what happens externally. External, yes, it matters. Internal is the most important part because it dictates how you experience the external. So you have to have the tools to be able to keep that peace within yourself, even when your heart is racing, even when you're pissed off, even when you want to go in, even when you want to call and have that conversation, right? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I need some feedback, okay? Because sometimes you be wanting to do that, right? I know I do. I'll be like, ugh! But then it's like, you know what? This is what it's all about. Yes, God. Always coming back to those 2 words. Always coming back to that awareness. Always coming back to that alignment. I am an expression of God. Where is God at? Yes, God, where are you? You're calling me from somewhere because this right here is some bull crap. I need to know what the lesson I'm going to learn. What is my part? How can I fix it? Let's get back because I don't like this. Okay? So that is what keeping your word is about. Hey, my beautiful Sag sister. I got all my Sages on the live. Yes, God. So, we're going to move on to the next one, but I want us to really take a moment to really think about when do we not do what we're going to say you do. A lot of times like, I'm going to call you back. You never call back. That's lying. Okay, yes, it's not quote unquote as serious as other, whatever. But the bottom line, again, how you do anything is how you do everything. You want to have integrity with yourself, right? Because it's not even about regardless of other people, think about yourself. So what happens subconsciously when we say these things and then we don't have a follow-up is that our subconscious is like, that chick do not be doing what she says she's going to do. She ain't doing nothing. She ain't doing nothing. She ain't going to do it. She said she was going to do it, but she's not doing that. Okay. That's what happens to the subconscious after you, again, that compound effect, you're building up. Oh, I said I was going to do that. And I didn't. Oh, I said I was going to get that done. And, oh, I said I was going to produce that, whatever. I said I was going to create, but you never did it. So now internally your biofield is kind of like suspect, like, and then you wonder why you attracting all this, funky business in your life. Okay, we got to keep it real. We got to take accountability. We got to look at how our behavior and how our internal integrity is manifesting what our life looks like right now. Okay, the 5th tip is have boundaries. Okay, a lot of the time people, they lead with their, I'm going to call it what it is, their victim story. And it's almost like they want to trump each other. Oh yeah, well he did this and cause here, this could have been I had a baby. We had a baby 7 days apart. Her daughter was born 7 days before my son. That's actually a true story of mine. But guess what? Y'all don't hear it like that. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. The bottom line is that having boundaries, okay, feeling like we are being taken advantage of, everybody has felt like that. Everybody has a story. Everybody's been betrayed. Most people have had someone who died that was very close to them. We've all pretty much experienced childhood trauma, sexual abuse. I mean, and I'm not making light of any of these things. What I'm illustrating right now is that it's important to know that we don't have to identify with that anymore. Okay. It is okay for us to have boundaries now. We are adults. It's okay for us to say no. And as a matter of fact, we should be saying no a lot more than we're saying yes. All right. We feel like people are taking advantage of us in our adulthood, and we're not taking a look at the decisions that we're making. Okay. Referring back to what I was talking about in the beginning, accepting people for who they are, communicating clearly and properly, not expecting people to read your mind. Okay, because communication and boundaries go hand in hand. And, a boundary is not about telling someone. It's not about, I don't accept this now. It's not about, oh, this is what I do now. It's not about saying it. Okay, a boundary is about the decision that you make when that boundary is crossed. I'm not doing that. Okay, it's about that no. Where does that no actually happen? Or do you pretend that you're saying no, but then you back to that suspect shaky energy? Okay? Accountability and resolution. What am I doing that I could be doing differently to be closer to what I want to have happen? All right? I need to be communicating clearly. I need to be this is what it is. This is I need to be doing all of those things. Okay. Sixth thing, taking really deep breaths, like I'm about to do right now, like we all gonna do, and just we're gonna do one more, y'all. Your breath is the one thing. Remember we talked about that one thing in the beginning? It's the one thing. Your breath is always the one thing that will take you towards your next one thing. Okay? Your breath is sustaining your life. There's nothing else that is sustaining you the way that your breath is. Okay? You can lose all this external stuff. You can lose an arm, cut the hair, cut the ear off, cut the leg off, paralyze. If you're still alive right now, and you can hear this and see this, you should be absolutely, utterly, and extremely grateful for your breath. Honor your breath, and at least 1 or 2 breaths to actually be with that. Say thank you. Say thank you, God. Yes, God. Thank you, God, for my breath. Because that breath is the one thing that will always bring you back down into your peace. All right? And it's not about not feeling emotions. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about, okay, I'm not going to feel the emotions. I'm going to feel the emotions, but I'm also going to feel God, and I'm going to feel that gratitude that comes with aligning with God. Okay? And when I can do that, it always puts me back in alignment with the next best one thing. Okay? And then the last tip that I have is focusing on feeling good inside of yourself, not focusing on pleasing others. We got to stop doing that. Okay? This is not to say you should not consider other people's feelings. Okay. Of course we should consider other people's feelings. It's to say that your feelings should be considered first. Hola, hey sis. Your feelings should be considered first. Not second, third, and fourth, and fifth. Your feelings should be considered first. Okay. And if something is going to cause friction with your feelings, okay, it's not to just go ahead and do it because somebody else is going to feel some type of way about it. All right. What it is something that needs to be examined to see if, am I looking at this wrong? Does my perspective need to change about this? Or, you know what? No, not doing it. That should be the default answer. Your default answer should always be no, not doing it. Until, would it feel good for me to do it? You know what? I'd like to do that. That's a really quick, easy way to make decisions. It's counterintuitive. We're so, again, out here, focused on what's going on out here, that what's going on in here becomes secondary. We take it for granted how powerful it is, just like our breath. As we're going through our day, doing all the things, feeling all the things, having the opportunity to be all the places, most people are not thinking about their breath. They're taking it for granted. Okay? Which is what most people do about most things, unfortunately. That's Pareto's principle. But yes, God, it is a big time mindset shift. It's a big time perspective. And when you shift that, you shift your heart, because you're thinking about feelings now. Electromagnetic field. Electro is the thinking. Magnetic is the heart. Electromagnetic. When the two are aligned in unison, that is what you're creating. So I challenge you to look at your heart and your mind and keep it real with yourself and see how you've created where you are, and think about how you want to create for where you want to be. Yes, God. Okay. So thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk. Yes, God. And if you are interested in one-on-one coaching with me, I do spiritual life and business coaching. Please feel free to schedule a discovery call in the link in my bio. If you're interested in any of the self-paced personal development, spiritual development courses, there's a link there too. Everybody, please go over and subscribe to my YouTube. I'm moving right now. I'm in the process of packing my stuff up and going over to YouTube, because Instagram be playing games with me. And that's a boundary for me. Yes, God. So YouTube and TikTok, I'm going to be over there. So please go ahead and connect with me over there. If you are interested in becoming a womb wellness coach professional, you can learn more about becoming certified on the link as well. And I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day. And I love y'all. Thank you for your time. And I will see you soon. Yes, God.